bro is back yet again, right? So, can you yet again not make up your stupid fucking mind? Do you seriously need help with this decision and you're asking some little bitch? Anyways, should you get upgrade top mount intercooler or a front mount intercooler? However, that being said, I'm no expert, so you know, take it with a grain of salt. I'm sure there'll be people in the comments that can help us out even more, because I'm right now deciding, do I want a top mount or a front mount intercooler? You have to understand what the point of an intercooler is. It's basically how an intercooler works. Air comes through, it passes through the intercooler, and that cools down the air that's about to go into the engine. Obviously, cooler air is denser, you get more power with it, and it's also a bit more safer for the engine running lower temps. There's some things that people may immediately see as soon as they buy a Speed. Mind the fucking swirl marks on the hood, mate. But yeah, the first thing, if you bought a Speed 3 Gen 1 or a Speed 6, you'll notice it doesn't have a hood, right? What good's that? Where's the air, you know? If we look in here, you'll see that there is scoops in here, right? So air comes through those scoops. There's the scoops. They come through here and they go through this big cowl and it gets fed straight onto the intercooler. So you do actually have cold air going directly into it. Now if you look at it, the size, that would actually be a pretty decent front hood scoop, and it's pretty efficient when you're rolling. What's up, Paddington, mate? Another issue you guys may see obviously is that the intercooler is obviously in the engine bay right on top, so it's got a heat soak, and there is some misconception about heat soak, and that's what I want to talk about now. Generally, as long as you've got air flowing through that top mount intercooler, so as long as you're rolling, you won't really be heat soaking, I'm gonna be honest, right? So basically when you do heat soak, will be, you know, if you stop the traffic lights, not moving, your air temps gotta go up. Now, that being said, personally me, when I'm not moving, I don't really need my performance, but because I'm not moving, but yeah. So if you've been there and you've heat soaked at the traffic lights, oh, shut up. Bro, I'm trying to make a video, right? Can you fly your helicopter some other fucking time, mate? Life at Tuner's viewers hate you. But you know what Life Tuner's viewers would like is if they liked and followed me on Instagram and YouTube. But yeah, as soon as you go off and you drive for like 10 seconds, your air temps are gonna be way back down, you're not gonna be heat soaking anymore. And also another misconception is people think front mount intercoolers don't heat soak. Yes, they do still heat soak, but it takes way longer to heat soak, and they won't heat soak as much as a top mount intercooler. So yeah. But you know, there is instances where you won't have that 10 seconds to drive and cool it down. If you do drag racing at the strip, right, you've got to be waiting in line, you've got to instantly just need to be able to go down the quarter mile, that's that. I was reading about this guy, he had a stock top mount intercooler, he had autocross, boom, waiting in the line. Once he goes and starts driving for 3 seconds, his BATs go way back down. So, you know, it's not that bad. It's something to consider. First of all, I think we'll talk about the cheaper option, which is an upgraded top mount intercooler. So basically it will be faster, it's got to have a better design, it's got to have less restriction, you're going to be able to get more air through it quickly. They actually are great, they do reduce your heat soak so much, but if you've got to push more than, let's say, 370 wheel horsepower, definitely get a front mount. Now, I know there's people like at Cork Sport, I think they push like 600 wheel horsepower through their upgrade top mount intercooler. But at that power level, that intercooler is not going to be efficient at all, I don't think. Front mount intercooler will be much more efficient. Yeah, if you're pushing less than like 360 wheel, upgrade top mount will do the job for sure. And a big advantage of going with a upgrade top mount over a front mount is there's less lag. The air only has to go from there in the turbo to the throttle body there. Now, if you have a lower horsepower build, that lag will not be as noticeable. Another thing is weight. Top mounts are a lot lighter. I know over the front end, I guess it's something important. Also, very easy to install these things. 10 minutes and you're done, right? Front mount intercooler, quite a bitch, right? Because I know especially like people do the HDI kit front mount. And I know they're very capable, but they're a complete bitch to install, right? Shout out to my man. However, then going on to the negatives of a upgrade top mount intercooler, obviously, like I said, if you're pushing really high horsepower, it is going to be much less efficient. You probably can't flow as much air through it as you can. And yes, if you're stopped, you know, for an extended period of time, it'll be a bit harder, but you know, it's fine. I know some people like track their cars like properly and they've never had an issue with the upgrade top mount intercooler. So now we're going to go and start talking about the front mount intercoolers. So I'm going to say what the biggest advantage is, and I know you guys will hate to admit it, but it is true. 90% of you guys just get it because you want to see a big fat fucking front mount intercooler on your grill there. Don't lie to me. You're like 90% of you guys, you get an HDI front mount and you go and you push 287 wheel horsepower. You did not need a front mount intercooler capable of 700 wheel horsepower for that, for sure. The technical advantage of a front mount is that obviously your intercooler is out of the engine bay, it is here. It has got to be cooler at any time. If you're rolling, it will be cooler. If you stop the traffic lights, it will be cooler, especially on a hot day, right? So your BATs, your boosted air temps, will be lower. Now, that being said, is it noticeable? Does it get you that much power? Look, I'm going to say, I have a monitoring software in my car, and I can see my air intake temps. So I've been boosting it when it's down at, you know, 18 degrees, or all the way when I've been idling it for 10 minutes in the hot sun, and it's up at, you know, 40 degrees. Can I feel a difference? No. I'm gotta be honest. You need a pretty fucking drastic difference in temperatures to actually notice it. And thing, yeah, once you're rolling with the upgrade top mount, the temperature's gotta be pretty low anyway, so there's that. At any speed, well, no matter what you're doing, a front mount intercooler will be more efficient, even if you can't feel it. This car, when I first get it tuned, I'm only gotta be pushing, you know, 300 to 320 wheel horsepower. Look, I definitely don't need a front mount intercooler for that, but I'm still considering it because it looks sick. And since it's a front mount, the temperatures will be low, which is actually better for the engine, right? If your cylinders have got, you know, 20 degrees colder air coming in, even though you can't feel it, they'll be better for its longevity, and you know, you'll have less chance of detonation and things like that. But then again, if I did that, I'd be sacrificing, you know, I'd get a bit more lag and weight, and I really don't know what one I want. And also guess one thing is if you're running a blow off valve delete, the front mount intercooler, the flutter will be a lot longer, it'll flutter a lot easier. Obviously, I've got the stock top mount, and my shit flutters, right? Let's summarize this. So for top mount intercooler, if you're pushing less than, you know, 350 wheel horsepower, it will definitely do the job. It's got to give you less lag, less weight, it's easier to install, and generally it's cheaper. However, a front mount, if you want that look of having a fat front mount on the front, and if you want lower air intake temps, perhaps you're pushing a lot of horsepower, then a front mount's definitely the way to go. I would love to hear from more experts down below what their opinion is. If you're going into this thinking, top mount intercooler, you know, it's not going to be good, it's still going to be inefficient. I know many people have no problems with them, they love them. Anyways, see you next time, love you, goodbye.